On the night of October 1st, Israel's sky looked like this. These weren't fireworks, these were missiles. Over 180 ballistic missiles were launched toward Israel, directly ordered by Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, part of their military, claimed that more than 90% of the missiles struck their targets. Israel, on the other hand, reported that the majority were intercepted by their air defense systems. The impact of these missiles can be seen in various images circulating online. Some show craters, including a 30-foot deep crater located right outside Mossad's headquarters. In southern Israel, near the Negev desert, where a large military base is situated, many missiles were aimed as well. Despite Israel's claims of minimal damage, Prime Minister Netanyahu made it clear retaliation is coming.
Iran made a big mistake tonight, and it will pay for it. The regime in Iran does not understand our determination to defend ourselves and our determination to retaliate against our enemies. Apparently, there are those in Tehran who do not understand this either. They will understand. We will keep to the rule we have determined. Whoever attacks us, we attack them.
But the bigger question is, how did Iran get involved in this conflict? The war, which began last year with Hamas's attacks, has now expanded to involve several countries. Israel isn't just attacking Palestine, it's striking Lebanon as well. Many paramilitary groups and terrorist organizations such as Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis are involved in this conflict. And now a major power like Iran has entered the fray. How did things escalate to this point, and what might happen next? Let's explore that in this video. While it's true that numerous countries are now involved, if the conflict worsens, it could spiral into a larger regional war in the Middle East. But calling it World War III is premature because this isn't the first time this year Iran has attacked Israel. Just a few months ago, on April 13th, more than 300 drones and missiles were launched at Israel. In fact, the April attack was even larger than this one, involving around 170 drones, 30 cruise missiles, and 110 ballistic missiles. This marked the first time in decades that another nation had launched a direct attack on Israel. The last instance was during the 1991 Gulf War when Saddam Hussein's Iraq attacked. But what triggered Iran's April attack? Iran called it revenge. 2 weeks earlier, around April 1st, Israel conducted an airstrike on Syria's capital, Damascus, which resulted in the deaths of 7 Iranian officers, including a high-ranking general stationed at the Iranian embassy. No country would tolerate such a strike on its military personnel, and in this case, Israel had targeted the embassy. But why did Israel launch this airstrike? Israel claimed that the building wasn't an embassy, but a military facility. According to Israel, the officer killed in the strike had close ties to Hezbollah. So what exactly is Hezbollah, and how is it connected to Iran? We'll delve into Hezbollah later, but first let's cover some key details about Israel's defense systems. When Israel was attacked in April, it received support from its allies, including the US, UK, and Jordan. The US managed to neutralize about 80 drones and 6 ballistic missiles. Meanwhile, British Typhoon fighter jets intercepted several drones, and Israel's F-35 stealth jets took down 25 out of 30 cruise missiles. Geographically, Iran and Israel are roughly 1,000 kilometers apart. A drone attack from Iran would take about 2 hours to reach Israel, making intelligence critical to defense. Israel's famous defense system, the Iron Dome, protects areas up to 10 kilometers in height with a range of 70 kilometers. It intercepts short-range rockets by launching its own missiles to destroy them mid-air, a process known as interception. You'll hear this term frequently in discussions about Israel's defense. However, the Iron Dome only handles short-range threats. For medium to long-range missiles, Israel relies on David's Sling, which has a range of 300 kilometers and covers up to 15 kilometers in height. But Iran's October attack involved ballistic missiles from over 1,000 kilometers away, beyond the reach of both the Iron Dome and David's Sling. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson, Nasser Kanayani, described the strikes as a limited act of self-defense and suggested that Western countries should actually commend Iran for not doing more damage. His words, though, seem more like a thinly veiled threat. While Israel's defense systems are incredibly sophisticated, there's a financial strain involved in their operation. For instance, each Tamir missile used by the Iron Dome costs $50,000. David's Sling missiles are even more expensive, around $1 million apiece, and the Arrow Systems missiles cost several $1 million each. During the April attack alone, Israel spent an estimated $200 million in one day on defense. Despite the technology's effectiveness, the high financial cost means Israel's defenses could be overwhelmed by sheer numbers in a sustained assault. The situation might not yet be a global conflict, but it has the potential to escalate into a broader regional war. As the situation unfolds, it will be critical to see how Israel, Iran, and the global community navigate this precarious balance. No one can afford to underestimate the consequences. While advanced technology can offer temporary protection, diplomacy and conflict resolution will be crucial to halting this cycle of violence. Iran's weaponry is no less sophisticated, with state-of-the-art missiles used in the October attack, like the 2023 Fatah missiles. In a photo released by the BBC, you can see the damage these missiles are capable of. Their longest-range missile, the Shahab-3, can reach over 2,000 kilometers. Missing from this list are the 2023 Fatah missiles, classified as hypersonic ballistic missiles. Hypersonic means they travel faster than the speed of sound, about 18,000 kilometers per hour, or 15 times the speed of sound. They can reach Israel in just minutes. We can accurately strike any target within 870 miles, and there's no system capable of countering this missile.
They're able to precisely hit any target within the range of 870 miles, and there exists no system that can rival or counter this missile.
Many confuse rockets with missiles, but they're vastly different. Hamas's rockets are relatively small and are launched with rough estimates of where they will land. In contrast, ballistic missiles are as tall as a 3-story building and are equipped with precision targeting, making them much more dangerous. They can even leave Earth's atmosphere before re-entering to hit their target. This is why, following the April attack, the UN Security Council called an emergency meeting, urging both sides to de-escalate. Hezbollah and Houthis have been attacking Israel for years, but ever since Israel retaliated against Gaza, the frequency of these attacks has increased. These three groups, Hamas in Gaza, Houthis in Yemen, and Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, are considered Iran's proxies, often referred to as the axis of resistance. Iran supports them financially and militarily from behind the scenes. Hezbollah is one of the most heavily armed non-state groups in the world. This Shia militant group emerged in 1982 during Israel's invasion of Lebanon and officially became an entity in 1985, with a manifesto calling for the removal of Western powers from Lebanon and the destruction of Israel. Almost all Western nations, including the US and Europe, classify Hezbollah as a terrorist organization, though India does not. Southern Lebanon was occupied by Israel for 22 years, and it was Hezbollah that pushed Israel out in 2000. A subsequent war between Hezbollah and Israel in 2006 lasted 34 days, with no clear winner. Today, a large portion of Lebanon is under Hezbollah's control, and the group wields more power than Lebanon's official army in many respects. The war between Hezbollah and Israel has been ongoing for months, and on October 7, 2023, Hamas launched an attack that reignited the conflict. The next day, Hezbollah officially declared war on Israel. Meanwhile, the Houthis, founded in the 1990s, emerged in response to Shia marginalization and growing foreign influence in Yemen. The Houthis are considered a terrorist organization by many countries and oppose Yemen's government. Yet India does not label them as terrorists. Iran and Russia back the Houthis, while Saudi Arabia supports Yemen's government, alongside Western allies. Looking at the map, you'll see that Saudi Arabia and Iran are two major powers in the Middle East, each backing different sides in conflicts. In Yemen, Saudi supports the government, while Iran backs the rebels. The same dynamic is found in Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. Globally, Western nations often align with Saudi Arabia, while countries like Russia and China lean towards Iran. This is why Saudi Arabia frequently stands against Iran, despite both being Muslim-majority countries. Saudi Arabia is Sunni-dominated, while Iran is primarily Shia. The current war, which started with Hamas's October 2023 attack, led to Israel's invasion of Gaza. Israel's bombing of Gaza has made parts of it uninhabitable. Between October 7, 2023 and September 22, 2024, the world has witnessed immense devastation in the ongoing war. 41,431 Palestinians have lost their lives, with over half of them being children and women. More than 2 million people have been displaced. Many countries have called it genocide. Jewish film director Jonathan Glazer, who won an Oscar last year for his film about the Holocaust, made a powerful statement during his acceptance speech. He said the memory of the Holocaust was being misused to justify the persecution of another community, distancing himself from this kind of Jewishness.
Our film shows where dehumanization leads at its worst. Right now, we stand here as men who refute their Jewishness and the Holocaust being hijacked by an occupation which has led to conflict for so many innocent people.
His film, The Zone of Interest, captures the brutal reality of fascism. If you get the chance, it's worth watching. In this war, Hezbollah has shown its strength. Daily rocket fires from the Israeli-Lebanese border forced more than 80,000 Israelis to flee their homes. Meanwhile, the Houthis have caused significant disruption to trade in the Red Sea, attacking passing ships with missiles. The damage is estimated to have caused nearly $1 trillion in losses. Before April 2024, Iran hadn't directly intervened in the war, even though it supported its proxies. However, on April 14th, Iran issued a warning. If Israel attacked its people, assets, or citizens, Iran would retaliate. IRGC Commander Hossein Salami delivered this message. Then on July 31st, Ismail Haniyeh, Hamas's political leader, was assassinated in Tehran. Though no one claimed responsibility, Israel is widely suspected. Following the assassination, Iran vowed retaliation. The war escalated further after the infamous pager attack on Hezbollah on September 17th. Explosive devices carried by Hezbollah operatives went off, killing many. A series of high-profile assassinations followed, including the deaths of Ibrahim Akil, Hezbollah's Special Operations Commander, and Brigadier General Abbas Nilfarushan of the IRGC in a September 27th airstrike. Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, was also killed in the same strike. Despite these losses, Hezbollah continues launching rockets at Israel. In just 1 week, around 1,000 people were killed by Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon. While the UN and the US condemned these attacks, Israel shows no signs of stopping. On October 1st, Israel confirmed that Iran had launched missiles in retaliation for the assassination of Hezbollah's leader. Fortunately, only one person, a Palestinian in the West Bank, died. Despite this, Israel's finance minister threatened to make Iran regret its attack, much like they did with Gaza and Hezbollah. Prime Minister Netanyahu warned that Iran had made a grave mistake and would pay for it. What we're seeing is a vicious cycle of revenge, with innocent civilians bearing the brunt of it. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned the overall conflict without blaming any single country. India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar acknowledged Israel's right to respond but emphasized the importance of following international humanitarian laws to minimize civilian harm. Ultimately, the people suffer the most in these endless cycles of retaliation. If this cycle of violence is ever to end, we must find new paths to peace, not just through diplomacy, but by rethinking the systems that fuel conflict. Speaking of systems, did you know the US is struggling with a national debt of $35 trillion, which can financially impact our whole world? You can click here to watch it and understand how debt shapes not only economies, but also conflicts worldwide. And if you learned something new from this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates on our future videos.